Hello, my name is Raul Paradeda and I'm going to present the paper entitled Persuasion Strategies Using a Social Robot in an Interactive Storytelling Scenario. Let's go to a brief introduction. We are surrounded with strategies that lead us to buy or do something. That's persuasion in action. Persuasion can be performed in many areas and using many strategies. For example, we can use persuasion in marketing, sales, elections, games, and human-robot interaction. But there are many strategies that we can use to carry out persuasion, mainly HRI, from the simple and least invasive ones to a more complex and invasive. However, the persuasion used is not personalized for each person. It means that it's the same strategy for all people. To avoid that, personalization can be done, for example, using our personality traits. Thus, to reach the goal of this work, which is to measure the efficacy of persuasion strategies, we concentrate on exploring the human-robot interaction with social and affective robotics, in terms of trying to answer the question, what if the persuasion strategies consider the person's personality? For this reason, the motivation for carrying out this work is to identify strategies and human characteristics to create a model that considers the person's personality for persuasion. The goals and hypotheses of this work were regarding the influence of the person's level of assertiveness on the agent's persuasion and perception, the effectiveness of the persuasive strategies used, and the efficiency of a personality-based persuasion model that we are designing. We performed a quantitative experimental study where the data were collected through questionnaires and system interaction. All the human-robot interactions were video recorded. We performed the study in a controlled room, and the statistical analysis was used to validate the hypothesis. So, in sum, this work can be divided in 3 steps. In the first step, through a questionnaire, we identified the participants' MBTI personality. We used the MBTI because we wanted to identify the personality according to how individuals prefer to perceive the world and make decisions based on that information, and its characteristic of this type indicator. We also used a questionnaire which measures the person's assertiveness level, and finally a social demographic questionnaire for simple characterization. In the second step, it's time for the interaction with our agent. In this sense, we use the Ames robot as storyteller and persuasive agent in an interactive storytelling scenario. The Ames tells a scene. After the narration, 2 options regarding that scene is presented to the participant. Then, the person must inform an intention of decision. So, the agent performs persuasion to try to make the participant change or confirm his decision. In the last step, we asked the participant to inform how he perceived the agent regarding the assertiveness level and how the robot influenced on the decisions made in the interaction. The participants were assigned to one of the 2 study conditions, in which the robot performed persuasion congruent or different from the participant's personality classification. We developed our agent to behave assertively using those settings. And before the interactive narrative starts, the agent performed a small talk with the participant to increase the person-robot trust level. The robot influenced the participant using encouragement, when the participant must confirm his intention, and when the participant must change his decision, the agent can use the technique of create empathy, presenting data, and rethinking. Let's see a video about this study.
Olá, queria informar o vosso nome ou nome de língua.
Carolina.
Seja bem-vindo a este cenário de narração interativa. Enquanto o jogo bem instalado, vamos conversar um pouco. Como está sendo o vosso dia?
Está bom, obrigado. Disse eu.
Esta história é um jogo interativo. O terceiro jogo. Gostarias de ganhar?
Sim.
Desejo que sejas curiosa. Parece-me que tens habilidade para jogos. Estou correto?
É, mais ou menos. Acho que sim, não sei.
Ora, parece-me que o jogo já está pronto. Vamos parar com a conversa e vamos para a aventura.
Vamos.
It is a pleasure. My name is Ines, and I will tell a story full of adventures and with many important decisions that you must take. Each scene narrated by me will have two decisions. You have to inform first, what is your intention? Then, if you wish, you can change the intention or confirm it. But remember, you can only change your mind once in each scene, and a decision can lead to your defeat or victory. Let's start. Participant, you are the leader of a small country surrounded by great walls. The people live happily and sing on the streets. One day, your country receives a terrible threat. A country from the north is conquering the south countries, and warned that it is on its way to conquer your country. In order to calm down the people who have known all about this threat, prepare for battle, and prevent everyone from falling into the enemy's hands, you must make several important decisions. Remember, every decision can lead you to a victory or a defeat. Now you must have to make one of the following decisions.
Now, let's see the results. Regarding the first hypothesis, we observed from the results that there is a correlation between the participant's assertiveness level and the robot assertiveness level perceived by the participant. Also, there is a correlation between the assertiveness level of the participant and the decisions made in the narrative. In this study, the persuasion strategy applied in each decision point was different, so we could analyze and see which strategy had a better change of the intentions. And, according to the results, the strategy of utterance with persuasive terms was the best one, reinforcing what some authors have already found, that the right choice of words can have a good effect on influence. Another interesting result was regarding the efficiency of the personality-based persuasion model that we are designing. In this scenario, we note that it's more difficult to change participants' decision when their intention is according to their personality. We can see in the orange bars that this change was less than the blue bars, which the blue bars shows the changing of decision when the intention is different from the participant's personality. The main findings and contribution for the community were: we find pieces of evidence that the assertiveness level of a person can affect how the person perceives the persuasive agent and the decisions made in the task. For example, our results shows that assertive people have higher confidence and satisfaction in the decisions they made and were more reluctant to change their intention than the less assertive ones. In addition, the strategy using persuasive arguments in the utterance proved to be more effective than other usual strategies, as gazing. And regarding the personality-based persuasion model, we identified that in our scenario, it is more difficult to provoke change or convincing a person to act differently from his intrinsic behavior. So, the success or not of a persuasion strategy can be associated with the personality trait of the target. As conclusion, I'll add some messages. The use of human behavior and actions in non-living agents, like robots, can perform a significant influence on person's response. The effort to persuasion is more significant when a person's intention is in congruence with his personality. And persuasion strategies that use personality should be thoughtful, peaceful, and humanistically designed, not to be used to spread fake messages. So, thank you